I can't believe it's been a year already. It's time to taste the Iechyd.
Iechyd literally means good health or to your health or some derivative of that. And that is kind of what we made this as. It's a sort of a metheglin, but it's mead, okay? There's a lot of stuff in here.
First off, the color is really interesting. I wasn't expecting it to be this dark or this red. It looks more like a wine.
It really does.
And I attribute that to the elderberry that was added. It's really pretty.
There's elderberry. I smell ginger. There's yarrow, I believe, in this too. I looked just briefly to see the ingredients.
Dandelion honey.
It was dandelion honey, yep. Joseph Woodall sent us that, as a matter of fact, one of our VIPs.
It smells really interesting, and not interesting in a, that's the best thing you can think of to say to it. It's
a complex scent. It's heady, it's got a nice strong scent, but definitely fruity, ginger, so there's a little bit of that hot, like heat spice to it.
Yep, but I'm still getting honey notes.
Most definitely. I'm tasting it.
All right.
Oh, that is nice. Wow. This is 13.5%. A little sweet, but not overly sweet. Nice mouth-filling. Full body on this. The tonic properties are really nice too. It dries it out just a little bit.
It's almost boucher tasting, but not really. I'm trying to come up with the words that I'm getting from this. Because
I get oaked, not bouchered. I don't really get a caramely.
I'm not getting the vanillins.
No, but I get more of the tannic properties from being oaked. Okay, on the inset, as you first take a sip, immediately it tastes cool, even though this is room temperature. There's a cooling effect, and I think that's ginger can do that sometimes. But I immediately get a floral, fruity kind of thing going on immediately. Taste a little bit of sweetness, then I get a honey character, and then the ginger comes in. And then on the finish, it's a little more dry. It doesn't come across as a very sweet beverage. It comes across more dry, mouth-filling, that tannic property. Correct me if you taste something different.
I am getting the sweetness definitely more up front. And then it progresses into darker, earthy, almost coffee notes. There's like this...
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Not exactly. It's like almost a green coffee.
Yeah, it might be more like dark chocolate. Because it's got that...
And it's in that range of the coffee chocolate thing. Yeah, so good.
It's really interesting. I like it and I don't like it at the same time.
It's an experience kind of drink. It's not really
like if you took the flavor profile and you just chopped off the front end, I'd be all about this. But it's that last end that's more almost abrasive to me with the coffee and the chocolate and the...
That's what I like about it.
Which I knew that, and so I think it's fine.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you take a metheglin that has a strong dark chocolate, and I don't mean like 70% dark chocolate, I mean like 100% dark chocolate, has those strong notes with a little bit of an elderberry earthy tone to it, a touch of ginger. It's kind of like that. Not to say that this tastes like hot chocolate, because it really doesn't.
No, and it doesn't have the sharp bitterness that dark chocolate can have, but it does have that tannic, almost astringent, but that's not the right word, finish where it kind of dries your tongue.
Yeah, I like that. I really like that. I am getting that little bit of a bitter flavor, that just slight hint of a bitter note that I get on the back of my throat from a mead. So I know that this is definitely fermented honey, which we know it is because, you know, we made it. But that tells me that it's still a very symbolic mead, okay? It's still like very much a mead. And I think for what we set out to do, which we wanted to make a traditional mead or like a historic style mead. I don't know how historic it really is, but there's ingredients in here that would have been used historically to make meads and tonics and elixirs and teas and that sort of thing.
This was like the medicine bag of ingredients.
And it's actually very enjoyable. I can see this with food and by itself. Either way, I have no problem with that.
I can also see handing a glass of this to someone and saying, "What is this?"
Yeah, they'd have no idea.
And they'd have no idea.
It's not your typical drink. It's not the kind of thing that you've ever had before.
Yep.
I mean, I've had dozens, hundreds of melomels, dozens of metheglins, just hundreds of meads. This is unique to all of them. It's because it's kind of the best of both worlds from a lot of things, but it's not overly spicy or metheglin-y, and it's not overly melomel either. It's very much in between. And I think the ginger helped to bridge that fruity to spicy gap really nicely. Without the ginger, I think this would be a lot weaker.
Yeah, my mind keeps going to wanting to add stuff to it, which is weird because there's so much in here already. But I think
what would you add?
The little bit of fruit notes that I'm getting at the beginning, I'm really enjoying, and so I want it to be more fruity.
Really?
Where I know he's going the opposite direction.
I don't think more fruit is going to...
Because he loves...
No, I don't really want to change it. I kind of like it the way it is.
All right.
I mean, if anything, cinnamon might be nice in this, but that's not traditional. So that's why, don't really want to go there. But more adding cinnamon to this, or a clove or an allspice, could actually, I think, improve this. It would make it much more metheglin. But as it is, for what it was intended, I think it's successful. I already see where the scores are going now. All right, I need more. You want more?
No.
So, I mean, I'm just going to go over from the beginning again. Color-wise, it's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
The color is a lovely, deep ruby Cabernet type of color, It's clear. Even though you can't actually see through it, it is quite clear, very clear, nice and crystal clear. The aroma is wonderful. It's very heady, very ginger, aromatics, all that kind of thing comes through. Alcohol is the one thing I'm really not getting a lot of. I don't really taste that 13%. It doesn't come across as 13.
Yeah, I think the ginger and all the complexity going on kind of make it so that you don't notice the alcohol.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's there. I mean, obviously it's there, but it's not one of those things that you're like, oh, this is boozy. It's there. There's way too much going on that you're just like, I don't know what this is.
The flavors are strong and powerful. That's one thing that I really like about homemade meads versus a lot of the commercial stuff, is sometimes they're so subtle. Like they'll say they have this ingredient and you go looking for it and you don't really find it. Whereas this, if I said this was an elderberry ginger spiced mead, you go, yep, exactly. That's what I'm tasting because that's what's there, and that, to me, that's important. If you're going to call it something, it should be that. Calling it Iechyd doesn't really tell anybody what's in it. That's why we wanted to say, kind of what's in it. But overall, I'm liking this a lot.
I think
Obviously,
part of the reason why it's not thrilling me as much is actually probably one of my favorite ingredients in it because I'm growing it right now, and that's the elderberry. Elderberry has a slight licorice note to it, and
neither of us likes licorice.
Yeah.
I made her try fennel the other day. She wasn't a huge fan.
So I think that's just coming up too much in my head, even though it's not strongly flavored in that.
I do see what you're saying. I do get a little bit of that, almost a licorice-y thing. I think the ginger is helping to combat that too.
Yeah.
But it's coming through so mildly that I think the fruit combined with the spices really balances it out for me. Everybody's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But it's time to put some numbers to this. I think I'm ready. Do you have a number?
I have a number.
You already have a number.
I have a number.
I'm going to be a little... Well, I'm not going to say anything. No, I'm not going to give it away. See, now I'm debating between two. No, I'm good.
He's waffling.
I'm good. Are you ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
5.
8.5. Whoa! That is the biggest range difference we've ever had. Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
Sure, I'll go first.
All right, go ahead.
This isn't doing it for me.
Wow.
I don't dislike it, but I don't like it. So that's why I gave it a 5.
Not a problem.
But Brian's really enjoying it. So yay, it will be consumed and all will be well. I love the color. I love the aroma. I love the concept. I love the complexity. I just the flavors aren't working for me, and it's kind of like it's two drinks. Like when you have a cocktail and they're all cool with their density and it's layered and you get one flavor and then you get another flavor and they're not working.
For those of you keeping count, this is number 4.
The front end is really enjoyable, but that back end, and that's what you get left with, it feels heavy to me, for lack of a better word. And I just feel like I'm kind of stuck there. And so I kept on drinking some more to go back to that beginning, but it's the finish that stays with you. So because that finish is staying with me and I'm not appreciating it, I couldn't really give it a very good score. I can see why Brian appreciated it a lot more than I did, because he is...
Oh, don't worry, I'll explain why I like it.
He loves metheglins, and this is definitely a metheglin.
Yeah, this doesn't come across as mellow. It comes across as metheglin.
Yeah. So I'll turn it over to Brian.
Okay, I think first of all, the reason why she doesn't like it is because it looks like a Derica mead.
It does.
And tastes like a Brian mead. That's why she doesn't like it.
It's true.
Because it's deceiving. It really does look like something that's going to be totally fruity and sweet and over. No, it's not. This is a powerful mead, okay? This has strong flavors. The ginger, while I like to say that it's bridging the gap, it's still a strong flavor in here. And it's actually a stronger aroma than flavor. I get the licorice thing that she's talking about. I totally do. And it's earthy enough that it comes across like a spice to me. Kind of like the wild pomegranate that we did. The way the Rangpur lime leaves worked with the pomegranate gave a similar kind of flavor, and I really liked that too. In this, I think it's a little more controlled, so it came across nicer. But the ginger playing off that, to me, works really nice. It gives almost a little, like on the breath, you can feel a little bit of a heat kind of thing going on. The elderberry in this, I taste it as fruity. She says it's not fruity enough. I taste it as fruity. And then, I don't know if it's the yarrow that's kind of melding things together. It just seems to blend a little bit more than I would expect. And then I'm getting the honey character kind of carrying all those flavors through. To me, this is just great. I mean, I was tempted to go 9. That's what I was tempting between 8.5 and 9. I like it this much. And I think this is absolutely the first time that you've seen the great disparity in our tastes. Normally we're very close.
Yeah, normally we have similar
we like the same things
profiles
in a lot of cases.
And things that we like and dislike. But there are times, and this is a great illustration of that, where the Brian wheelhouse and the Derica wheelhouse just aren't jiving, and that's what's going on here.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And that's why we encourage you, even if we don't like a certain thing, if we're giving a flavor profile or a flavor note that you really like, that you know we don't like, then try it out. You might really like it. Like in this example, I'd be like, no, thank you. And Brian be like, give them all to me. So it's beauty is in the eye of beholder.
We try to be unbiased when we're giving this because we both do have our own personal taste. But there's sometimes that you just can't. Like the nettle mead, I don't really care. It was horrible. Like it was just bad. There's no way I could give a redeeming quality to that. I tried really hard to be nice about it, but it was just not good. And we've had a few that we were like, this is just not good. I can't hide it. It's just not a thing. I try to find something positive to say, but at the same token, I can't be unbiased. It is what it is. But when I really like something, it's just, I really like it, period. And then you try to explain why you like it, what it is about it that makes it work. And in this case, I think I've said it more than once already. It is all those melding of flavors, and that's the exact thing that she didn't like, is the disparity of those flavors. I thought they melded together really nicely. She didn't. It's all good. And this is part of what makes homebrewing so cool, because even if you didn't like it this way, if there was one flavor that you didn't like for her, it was the elderberry, kind of throwing it off. If we were to make this again, we might leave the elderberry out and she might like it better. Maybe that works for you. For you, it could be the ginger, or it could be the other spices. You never know. It could be you need more elderberry, more cowbell. That's the cool part about homebrewing, is you make it how you want. This was just our suggestion of a recipe. It gives you a foundation to start from. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.
Bye-bye.